you are in marketing for your company, trying to grow your business, your boss wants you to adopt AI and AI this and AI that. And if you're here at DigitalMarcon, then you're hanging out with folks like Leanna Ling and me and other practitioners that are equipping you with how to use Claude and Grok and Gemini and all these other tools. But if you're watching this and you're not here in Toronto, Austin, LA, other places that we have DigitalMarcon, Leanna Ling is going to catch you up on what you need to know. So it's almost as good as being here with us where you can ask questions.
Almost.
But Leanna, what did folks miss out in our session just an hour ago?
Well, they missed out. I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go to an event. I'm just going to get a download of a lot of information. First of all, we didn't have the PowerPoint at all, right?
Nope. We used
no
her
slides.
laptop.
Yes, we used my laptop, and we actually did everything very practically right there in the room. We even took somebody in the front with his business. He was like a web design business, I believe, Tom, right?
Tom.
We did live. Can you believe this? We actually did live. I showed, number one, how to set this up for yourself inside of Claude or Manus, whatever you want. And we actually had my laptop go through, audit, do all the research for this gentleman's business right there while we kept talking and sharing other things. And at the end of it, he had a full plan. He knew exactly, we had all the links, I think, that we pulled up, right? All the links of all of his content. It was actually quite extensive. We were surprised.
It's like a Wizard of Ads issue because we said, who has a problem? And he said, I have a problem. I have a digital agency and I need leads.
Yeah. So we're like, here's how you do it. And we did it
and
live.
Not just how do you do it, we actually did it for him.
Yep.
And we spoke to our agents and we said, okay, our buddy Tom has his agency. Go look at his site, look at him, find all the clients he's ever had, all his testimonials, all the LinkedIn reviews and what are those things called? Recommendations.
Yeah.
Put them all together and then let's actually fix his website so that people that know that he served these nonprofits in LA, other nonprofits could see that, repurpose that so we can turn them into YouTubes and Facebooks and LinkedIn's and then run LinkedIn ads targeting other nonprofits that are just like these other nonprofits. So for you and you doing lead gen, especially B2B, but it doesn't have to only be B2B. If the AI understands who you are, advanced experience understands all that, then it can go to work. And so digital marketing, which is what this conference is about, I would reframe it as the reputation and proof you've generated. So all the good things that your customers have said about you, could be of a podcast, could be whatever, can be tuned by these agents to do your marketing for you, not you talking about how you are or you hiring more salespeople. No offense to salespeople, but that's what digital marketing is.
Yep, that's right.
And the agents do that kind of work.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think one of the things that has actually become abundantly clear for me while we were here too, speaking with people and just past the week is sharing with Dennis, it's not about the tools. Like we asked everybody, oh, what's your favorite LLM, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had a different one. It's not about the tools. It's about going back to first principles and then applying the agents to do the boring work, to do the button pushing for you. But go back to first principles. And the great news is like Dennis's stuff is already out there. It's already, just Google it, ask ChatGPT, ask any of your LLMs. It'll tell you exactly what to do.
Leanna Ling, who's the Facebook lead gen queen, you can look her up. She surprised me on stage.
I did.
And she said,
I did. You missed this.
She went to, doesn't even matter, Claude, ChatGPT, and said, take all the things that Dennis teaches about $1 a day, collecting positive mentions, doing SEO, all that kind of stuff, right? And she created a whole inventory of skill markdown files.
Yes.
And now, whenever her agents or anyone who has these files wants to do work, they can do it according to the specific SOPs. So I looked at some of these, like I'm famous for this $1 a day thing. So instead of you going through 23 hours of the $1 a day course on how, you could watch all of it, but still valid. You could just say, hey, agent, go digest how this is being done. Here's my content. Go apply this as if you were hiring Dennis and whatnot. Now I'm the genie in your bottle.
That's right. Yeah. And I even have it set up so that I told it, create a plan that will chain them all together. So I just have to start the audit and then each one of the skills knows to call the next skill in line with the next Dennis. That's actually in my computer.
So some of you guys are going to win really big with AI and some of you guys are going to get crushed and eliminated, and not for the reason that you think. Here's what I've noticed from my own direct experience. So for example, Leanna is doing lead gen and ads for Webinar Jam. You guys know of Webinar Jam. They're maybe one of the largest webinar softwares where, lead gen and all the selling courses, consultants, that kind of stuff. So because there are thousands and thousands of people that have used Webinar Jam, that talk about Webinar Jam, there's proof of this when we go to YouTube and the internet and all that. Most of that stuff is just scattered all over the place. So I think you launched Manus and I launched Claude to go gather everything good that anyone has ever said about Webinar Jam and structuring it here, and then applying what we call the 4-stage content factory, which she's turned into a bunch of little skills, which are like mini agents that work together in teams. And because Webinar Jam does have real proof of people making money using webinars, where they have to have a list, they have to promote it, they have to have a good offer, like all the things necessary to do a good webinar. Not just this, obviously the software does what the software does, but when there are people that use the software and they grow their business because they have webinars and they do webinars the right way, which isn't the software, but you provide the training part of that, right? We take all that training, take all the success stories, that becomes the Webinar Jam marketing. That gets inventoried into, some people call it a knowledge base or a RAG, or they stick it in Obsidian or some kind of, who cares about how it's being stored? The point is, all that proof is collected and stored. Then every week or every day, your agents go out and look and find more things and then update this big database of proof, which then can be turned into articles and ads and snippets and shorts and reels and all that kind of stuff. And the beauty is, like, I like Claude right now, but it can be like whatever your favorite one is. But then we have it, like her agents can audit what mine does. So we like to audit using ChatGPT or Gemini, or you want Gemini to do the work and you have someone else come in and audit, as in some other, like from the country of Anthropic or from the country of the Philippines.
Yes.
And
like
now
getting
you
a
get the best
second
of both
opinion.
worlds, right? I never just take what it says, and you never, because it's lazy. It only, the first time it only does, I don't want to keep going, and that's what Leanna and I love managing, or we hate managing these teams of agents that do the work. And we would love to see you guys do that. And odds are you're watching this and you got to generate leads for the company you work at, or you're the big boss and you're frustrated with your marketing team because they need to do more with less, right? And you have too many agencies that are telling you all these different things. You can use this audit process like Leanna and I have to audit what the agencies are doing, to audit what your team is doing. And thus you are not only the police, but you're also the cheerleader because you're providing them tools, and then you offer performance based on that. And if you have the agents that are also doing the measurement and measuring how many leads and revenue, connecting the CRM to the financial system and all that, you can have their compensation based on things that matter, not on how many pieces of content you put out according to the content calendar, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
And now you have the agents working for you the right way. And it has nothing to do with like Grok or Gemini. It's your ability, some people call it orchestrating, but it's your ability to project manage a team of people, whether those people are human or not.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've seen this over and over and over again in the last couple of months, because I've implemented this across a bunch of companies. And what will happen is, I don't want to be like mean, but whenever you come into like a marketing department, the CMO always says like, oh, you sit there and listen to them complain, right?
Yes.
Because you're just waiting to be able to tell them, okay, who are the people? I know you have 50 people on a team, whatever, right? Okay. Who are the people who are actually getting it done? Who are motivated and smart and like they learn and they're hungry? I don't care how old you are, but usually the younger they are, the hungrier they are, right?
Yeah.
They can learn faster. Those people we'll give everyone access to the stuff, right? But some of those people, these A players, we're going to multiply them, and then they become tenfold. And I've asked other friends of mine as we implement this, because I just want to see so how'd that go? And they typically tell me that they get 10 times more out of their A players.
Wow.
And so you get a few, like 15 or 20% of your people are going to be A. It's just like a curve. Some people get A's, just a bell curve. But then you have these people that don't really do anything, and you're just like, oh, please, let's use AI. Here's these tools. Come to DigimarCon, whatever. Like, let's not squeaky wheel, waste our time. I don't mean to be rude. Like, I'm sure HR would cancel me for saying this, but let's not waste our time trying to convince those people, hey, let's start using these tools. The company's paying for all this stuff for you guys.
Right.
Can you identify those A players? And then, because you don't have to motivate them, right? Stick them on the tools. show them the stuff that Leanna and I have built, which we've open sourced. You can ask ChatGPT, can you give me the skill markdown files on how we run the content factory and dollar a day and repurposing and doing SEO? And here's all the files. Okay, do those. And then if you're cynical like me, run them through whatever your favorite Grok or ChatGPT and say, okay, these skill files, do they adhere to Google's quality rater guidelines? Yes, they do. How do I know? Because we're always QAing our own stuff, right? Have it do the work, QA that work. Have each of your team members, human or not, submit. I like Fridays. Every Friday, submit a weekly report on what you did, on what you're going to do, and what you need from me. That's called metrics, analysis, and action. So we keep continually improving every week. You know, you can have a meeting if you want with your agents and you can talk them through. You can invite them to Zoom and you can have a conversation if you're like that. I like to read emails because I don't want to sit there in a Zoom call. You know, Leanna was saying there's all these different ways depending on how you like to manage, but this is great because you take your best people and those people do 10 times more work than these other people. And then whatever you want to do with those other people, that's up to you.
And you can apply the exact same thing to your agents. It doesn't matter, virtual or human. That way you'll always end up with the AAA team, whatever you want to call it, the top one.
And so you come to conferences like this to meet folks where, you know, just like listening to Leanna talk, I'll get one idea. I'm like, oh, that's the one nugget. I came to a conference and that made all the difference.
Right? I agree. I agree. It's always that one little thing that you actually take action on.
Otherwise it's you have a notebook full of stuff that, okay, a week later, no one ever does. You know, you go to the conference.
So I'm literally challenging everybody who comes by here to say hi to us. I'm like, I'm challenging them. Like, what are you doing? What did you learn? Okay. Are you going to implement it? No, right? Pull up your phone. Let's do it right now, right? With AI, we can do that.
So there was this girl that came last year, Anna, and she does marketing for these IT services companies. I mean, this like managed IT server security, like that stuff is like the most boring stuff, right? All this B2B, like old white guys, right? You know, like anyone that's selling like hosting security server, like they have this stock art where there's like a server room and robots are walking around and it's futuristic, or you have one of every race inside the conference room celebrating and the chart's going up, you know, it's fake, right? And because she knew what we did last year, what we taught, and she came back, which is a good sign. That means our stuff was good. She realized that to be human was the key, because people who are buying IT services are buying from another human they can trust, and they see other companies like, oh, these other companies trust Anna's company. I want to work with them. So she started podcasting and interviewing these other people and doing the exact opposite of what you'd expect. Because when you think IT services, you already like imagine this stock art kind of generic, non-human, faceless, you know, robot kind of thing. And so if you're in B2B, that's your advantage.
And she came to our lunch and learn session last year. She saw what we were doing here and she took action on it. And then she came back this year to report in, and now she's like, okay, what have you got for me next? So
imagine at every one of these digital marketing conferences, how many Annas there are. Think about how many people, Leanna, you have helped by putting stuff out there. Think about this live stream. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, we don't know who you are, but we would love to hear, like, what do you think?
Let us know below. We'll check out the comments. Let us know.
We're always looking, and maybe we'll see you in person at one of the DigiMarcons, whether it's Houston or New York or Chicago, or go type into your favorite AI, what's the world's largest digital marketing conference series? And it'll say, and even in the Google, it'll say it's DigiMarcon. Why? Because we as in the conference has generated all the proof of all the folks who are coming, not just because they want to spend 2 or 3 days watching people read PowerPoints, but they want to implement the dang thing. They want their marketing people to actually be able to do it, not just like come away with more books and notes, but to actually drive more leads, actually fix the website, actually launch the YouTube ads, actually do the LinkedIn outreach, email nurture campaign, like whatever the thing is. And so I encourage you, because of AI, because Leanna and I have spoken at these conferences where it's like AI this and AI that, like the entire agenda is like AI, right? This is what I've learned. The gap between consulting, learning, and teaching versus implementation is like that. Because as long as you know how to say what it is that you want, you grab the skill files, which is not plagiarism or cheating. I know in school they call that cheating. You know, Leanna would have been failed for doing that, you know, but we're in the real world where that's called collaboration.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And now if you just know where to get the files, if you can help your agents mimic from someone else who has done the thing, we call that apprenticeship or mentorship, but the agents can learn from agents, right?
Yeah.
Now you have a whole team. You can, I'm not even ashamed to say, like, you could basically have Leanna working for you. You could have me working for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have there was this one guy, what was his name? Christian, that was his name. And he said that he has a weekly meeting across all the different channel managers and other people where, you know, he's organizing what's going on and reporting back up to the big boss. And he's got a history of what all these different people have done every week, either fixing the website, doing PPC, doing all the stuff that they're doing every week. They have a thing and they document all the stuff. And now his AI is going to go back through all of that and learn and figure out what's the stuff that was working or wasn't working, and then how do we make it better? So it's an extension of him. Now he thinks, I disagree with him. He thinks that AI is going to mostly replace the workers. I think it's also going to replace a lot of the stuff he's doing, like the gathering and managing and organizing and like and then giving it up to the next layer, and then that next layer, if it's a big company, then has to do it up to the next layer.
Exactly,
like,
it's that management layer that's going to be
So if you're in management, this is either AI is your friend or it's an enemy, depending on how you use it.
There's even another gentleman in that session who he manages a sales team, and he was saying to me, oh, I need to have time with my boss to understand what to do next. And then I started saying, well, you can build like a chat bot, or you can build a knowledge base of your boss's information. So you can go talk to that first before you have to go talk to him because he's so busy. And then I find out, he says, oh, my boss already written books about how he actually makes decisions, how he leads teams, I was like, do you get the PDFs of those, put them into your AI, and now it's not going to slow him down, right?
Now, people like Leanna and me and him can spend more time with relationships, managing relationships, not administrative paperwork, status report nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be unfolding more of that as well here at DigiMarcon. This is just the first day.
And I'd love to see you in person. I know it's like AI this, and you can watch this YouTube or LinkedIn while you're having your morning coffee or whatever, but I'm old fashioned, and I just believe in having meetings. Like Leanna and I, we have, like last year we went out and had Chinese dumplings and meat and things like, it's just, if you're a vegetarian, that's good for you, whatever. But when you have real connections with your customers and the people that you work with, just like we're practicing here, this shows this is not AI generated. We're actually, if this was AI generated, I would fix my hair. There's a lot of these things.
We got to do this or something at a show, right? Yeah.
But that's what people buy. They buy that authenticity. We did these campaigns for TikTok. They paid us a lot of money. I have to disclose that. And they called it being flawsome, right? Instead of trying to be perfect. Like, we didn't have a script for this.
No.
And Leanna and I are both public speakers, so you could say, oh, they've done a lot of public speaking, it's easy for them. Like, no, we're just having a conversation and just bringing you in on it. So I'd say learn from what Leanna's doing.
Yeah, we're both practitioners, and we always share what we're practicing. So that's why it's easier for us, because we've done it and we're doing it.
And then it sends a pattern, a signal for the AI to learn. So whatever your people or you or your company has done that's repeatedly documented where you can see that, why don't you be lazy like me and just have the AI try to extend that for you? Yeah, that's all marketing is. It's turn it up 10 watts to 100 watts. If you suck as a singer, then at 100 watts, maybe more people will hate you. Like, stop that, right?
So it's just all about, and we were also talking about finding your greatest hits with your system, so that once you find that, you're right, it's just dialing it up all the different ways, and AI can do a lot of that heavy lifting for you.
And it could have been from years ago. It could have been some kind of story that's evergreen, something that reveals what your company stands for, or something that they, you solved a certain problem in a certain way. Instead of, oh, we got to hurry up and do our July 4th campaign. Oh, our Christmas campaign's coming up now. Or like, that's calendar marketing. Oh, let's publish 5 times per week on whatever channel. No. That's the newspaper have to crank out every day. There's some new headline about the war, about no. We're rock stars. We have songs, and when we put a song and it works and it becomes part of a greatest hit, we collect royalties on that forever. Meaning we run ads against it, we repurpose it, we just try to get more out of that greatest hit instead of more content. So last thing I'll leave you with, and then Leanna can give her final thoughts. If you're in marketing and you're performance driven, spend 90% of your time on your greatest hits, meaning things that have already worked. Repurpose it, put more ads on it, tune it, put it to another channel, like just squeeze more out of that thing. And 10% of your time, create new content. Almost all you guys out there, I've asked, that's how I know it's true. You spend 90% of your time trying to come up with new stuff every time. You're chasing the latest AI, this whole OpenClaw, what are you doing about OpenClaw? Stop it, right? 90% on the stuff that's working, your performance improves, you don't have to work as hard, you don't feel like you're behind the ball, you don't have to have as many meetings, you don't have to explore every single tool out there, and you can be what I call rationally ignorant.
I love it, yeah. Well, I want to leave you with a little tip that I gave everybody here in the room, which is, and a lot of people feel overwhelmed or you don't know where to start. Just take one little thing, one little thing. It doesn't even matter if it's related to sales or not, like anything. It's one little thing that annoys you or that you want to improve with AI, and just implement that this week. And then do that again the next week after that. And then again and again. And you will be shocked, I think, at how much it compounds even after, like I would say, even of a month. And most people are not doing this. So if you do this for a month, you're going to be ahead of, I don't know, like 70-80% of the people in the world.
How do you eat the elephant?
Yeah, exactly.
Amen. Love to hear. What do you guys think? Leanna and I are real humans.
Yes.
We want to learn from you. What questions do you have? Maybe there's cool things that you want to share. Mainly, I want to see that you've taken action, and I want to see what has been the result. Because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, like Leanna's saying.
Yeah, let us know below. We'll be checking out the comments.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.